The Breakfast Club, and now we're taking you to the roads where we're going to be reviewing Triumph Daytona 660. It's a high-performance sports bike that's just been launched in India.
But what makes this bike special, and is it really worth considering if you are in the market for a new ride? Let's take a closer look with Overdrive.
Now, the Triumph Daytona series of motorcycles have always been associated with power, speed and precision, well, for quite a while now. And they've been known the world over for just that. And when India got a taste of that almost a decade ago when Triumph came out with the Daytona 675 and the spec'd up sportier 675R, well, those were thoroughly impressive machines because, yeah, they were proper mid-capacity super sports. The best part about those motorcycles was the fact that they felt very much at home out on our Indian roads, and if you tuned it up a bit, they felt very much at home out on the circuits at track day events too. But sadly in 2016, well, the Triumph Daytona 675, the standard version, was taken off the global menu, and we were all left in disbelief when the R version followed suit a couple of years later. But not to worry, that nameplate, the iconic nameplate, is back again in today's world. This is the Daytona 660 in a slightly more rounded off package, let's say. And today we're going to find out if this motorcycle is worthy of that iconic nameplate. Should you actually consider buying one? How does it fare out in today's world? Let's find out. The Triumph Daytona 660 looks undeniably attractive, but it doesn't quite push the envelope when it comes to sharpness and aggression. The bike silhouette is distinctively sleek with clean-cut lines, and it exudes an air of sophistication up front, with its split headlamps, the sizable windscreen, and that nicely designed full fairing, which Triumph aficionados will appreciate. However, the tail section is very reminiscent of its siblings, the Trident 660, and it does look somewhat stubby, detracting from the overall sporty aesthetic that one might expect from a Daytona model. When parked, the three colors that are on offer won't particularly garner a lot of attention apart from that of keen observers. The part negative LCD, part TFT instrumentation cluster has been lifted straight off the existing 660 models and now appears to lack a bit of freshness. Despite these critiques, the Daytona 660's design strikes as a commendable balance between form and function, even though it might not come across as being the sharpest tool in the shed. This motor out here is the same motor that's based on that which powers the likes of the Tiger Sport 660 and the Trident 660. However, Triumph have made a couple of changes to the internal bits of this engine, so now it makes around 15 PS more power than something like the Trident 660. So max power is up to around 94 PS now, and max torque is rated at around 69 Nm. So although it isn't as powerful as something, say, like the earlier Triumph Daytona 675 version or the R, it is the more powerful of the current generation 660s in Triumph's portfolio. Also, now the airbox is a lot bigger and the position has changed as well. So on something like the Trident 660, the airbox is located somewhere here under the seat, but now it has shifted to the central portion of this motorcycle, and lower down the power band you can actually hear that intake noise, which according to me just enhances the overall riding experience of this particular motorcycle. Now, the older gen Daytona 675, especially the R, seemed admirably boisterous and eager to hurl its motorcycle exhaust slang at other road users, telling them to get out of the way the moment you whack the throttle open. And on the other hand, this modern day Daytona 660 exudes more of a gentlemanly vibe, in a way that it appears to beg the pardon of others before scurrying past in a huff. But it's a motor that's enjoyable nonetheless. And it's very tractable too. Tractable enough for you to make minimal use of that clutch. It can pull away from as low as 26 km per hour without you having to reach for that left lever. It provides proper entertainment in the mid-range and up. The joys of a Triumph Triple are definitely there to be felt with this one. Well, anything above 4000 RPM, that's when this motor really starts getting fun. Around 4000 to 6000 RPM, it remains smooth and very composed. And after that, post 6000 RPM all the way to 11,000 RPM, well, it gets sort of gruff and it feels a lot more, well, fun and enjoyable than something like the Trident 660. So that's something that I really like about this motor. Alright, now in terms of riding position on the Daytona 660, well, it is rather sporty, but it's not overly committed. Now the clip-on bars are positioned in such a way that you don't have all your upper body weight on your palms as well, which some will really like. And of course the rear set foot pegs feel very comfortable, and it really feels like a motorcycle that you can really ride all day through, which is always a good thing.